بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. ربنا زدنا علما. اللهم إنا نسألك الإخلاص والقبول وأن تنفعنا اللهم بما نقول. اللهم أمين وبعد. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Tajweed 101 course, simple step-by-step Tajweed course that enables you inshallah to know and understand how to read the Quran properly inshallah. Welcome, my name is Maghfira and you are watching Maghfira 101, the place to learn and know and understand how to read the Quran properly inshallah and understand its meaning inshallah. And today inshallah we're going to continue with the mistakes that may happen when we read letter Tha inshallah. So let's see them. Mistakes that may happen when we read letter Tha. You know that Tha letter is articulated from the tip of the tongue when it just touch the tip of the upper and lower teeth, just a gentle touch, like f. So the air is more in this sound. Okay, so let's see the mistakes that may happen when we have letter Tha and when we read letter Tha. We have four main mistakes that may happen when we read Tha letter. Number one is improper heaviness. You know that if we have a light letter, when we have a light letter, from the mistakes that may commonly happen is reading it as a heavy, and when we have heavy letter, from the commonly mistakes that we may have here is to read it as a light. And today our letter is a light letter, so from the mistakes that may happen here is making it as a heavy sound. So the reason for making the heavy sound is that the light letter is surrounded by a heavy, or it is coming after or before a heavy letter. So in this case, if we have a letter Tha, then a heavy letter, or even after it a Tha letter, okay? Sometimes some may get rush or get ready for the next letter before finishing or before taking care that the previous letter is a light one. So here we have al-kawthar. Some may do it as al-kawthar. So the tongue is rush to read the next heavy letter, and that's causing the heaviness to touch the Tha letter as well. Okay, so make sure to separate the sound of a Tha, not to cut the sound, but to separate the characteristics of a Tha than the characteristics of a Ra, which is heavy one. So it is al-kawthar, 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 thar, like this, thar. Do not make it as a tha, thar. Al-kawthar, thar, tha, tha. Like this, you elevate the back part of the tongue when you read Tha, so you make it heavy instead of being light. And this is the mistake number one. The second mistake that we may have is improper sound. And this is because of missing or putting the tip of the tongue improperly. And instead of putting it between the tips of upper and lower teeth, some may do it as putting the tip of the tongue on the upper teeth, just the same as a Ta sound, or may some put it in the lower teeth, the same as a Sin sound. Okay, so this is commonly happen. So make sure to put the tip of the tongue just between the tip of the upper and lower teeth. Okay, so it is pronounced by putting the tip of the tongue gently to touch the tip of the upper and lower teeth. When missing the point, the sound improperly produced or pronounced. So ba'athna, when we put the tip of the tongue on the upper teeth, just it will be ba'athna, ba'athna, which is wrong. When you put the tip of the tongue on the lower teeth, it will be ba'athna, ba'ath, like the Sin sound. So this one is wrong as well. The third mistake is reading it as a one letter if it is two letters, if it is mushaddad, and even drop the sound of a one Tha if we have a Tha sukun, for example. So when we have Tha mushaddad, some may read it as a Tha without making it clear, as well as without making the sound for two Tha, like ithaqaltum, ithaqaltum, like this. So the mistake here that may happen, some may do it as ithaqaltum, itha, like this, which is completely wrong. So make sure to listen to the two Tha. The first one is Tha sukun, the second one is Tha maftuha, or whatever the haraka. So here it is ithaqaltum. And some may do it, some may drop the sound of a Tha, like ba'athna. Some may do it as ba'athna, بعثنا. Because keeping the air to be consistent, it may be hard, especially at the beginning. So some may drop the sound and drop the time for tha because of getting rushed to read the next letter, and instead of reading it as بعثنا, some may do it as بعثنا, بعثنا, like this, which is completely wrong. And the last mistake that we may have is shaking the sound of a tha, or vibrating the sound of a tha, or cutting the sound of a tha. When we have a tha sukoon, we have other mistakes. Number one is shaking it like بعثنا, بعث, vibrating it or shaking it. Number two is cut its sound and leave a pause between the tha and the next letter, like بعثنا, بعثنا, بعثنا. This one is wrong. Make sure to keep the sound, to keep the air continuous and on the tha sound complete time, like بعثنا, 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 like this. Okay, so these are the mistakes that I'm preparing for you today. Just check yourself, and if you have any question, just ask inshallah in the comment. Jazakumullahu khairan for watching. Catch you the next lesson inshallah. سبحانك اللهم ربنا وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.